OKOYE twins. Some might call them the PSQUARIANS. You all know how they both started jamming it back and forth. Nigerians liked their music. They went on tour, not until they had issues. And that issue is so huge and big that it cannot be resolved. So, P Square, he started with this still in Paris. Watching my kids speak French so effortlessly makes me think maybe it's time to own a crib here in Paris. Just a thought. And someone said, hope they can speak Igbo too. His response is this, and would Niger language help make a hear word I beg? Now, this is what started the conversation. Then he went on, when is your turn? Teach your own kids all the languages in Nigeria if that's your choice. As for me and my family, we are good. Go and find another place to pour your frustration. Again, what exactly do you stand to gain if my children speak Nigerian languages? Now, this is what his brother wrote. Rude boy, I am a nobody, I repeat, a nobody without the culture, native language, the pride of a Nigerian. 100% proudly Nigerian, 100% proudly Igbo. Now, if you look at how things are jumping right, left, and center, you'll be like, what's going on? Like, he went on, with everything going on in Nigeria, your biggest concern is whether my children speak Nigerian language. Out of all the real issues facing the country, that is what keeps you awake. Una never ready for our country. He kept on pressing and pushing and said, meanwhile, many of the same people criticizing me would jump at the chance to get foreign citizenship or raise their own children abroad if they had the opportunity. With everything going on in Nigeria, your biggest concern is whether my children speak Nigerian language. Focus on the real issues and let people raise their families the way they choose in their life. Now, both of them, anytime they have the opportunity to take a swipe at each other, they do. He said he found that name, and that name is the name that he wants to keep. Of course, you saw what his brother wrote. I am a nobody. I repeat, a nobody without a culture, native language, the pride of a Nigerian, 100% proudly Nigerian, 100% proudly Igbo. Of course, both of them are rich regardless. They are rich. They are not seeking for anything from anybody anymore. And he went on, if my response to would Niger language help upset some people, I apologize and take full responsibility for my words. That doesn't mean I hate Nigerian languages or our culture. It all started from this singular tweet trying to, oppress some of his fans. Like, you know what? I mean, Paris. Although both of them, they fought themselves in different ways and manners. Aside spiritually, we've not heard of that. But the thing is that I was expecting his brother not to have commented on this. Like, there was no need for it, really. So he went on to talk about the innocent tweet where he said his kids speak French, and it made me think maybe I should buy a house in Paris. Somehow they turned it into something completely different. Well, at no point did I say I hate Igbo language or Igbo culture. I said Niger language, referring to different languages in Nigeria, but some individuals twisted it and made it seem like I specifically, kind of like said certain things, but it is what it is, really. So he made sure he drew back the attention of his brother. He said, but again, bro, you are at it again, using this opportunity as another opportunity to pull me down. Just like I wrote in my open letter 2 years ago, doing everything possible to make people hate on me. Well, he said he has taken full responsibility for whatever it is that he said and is ready to receive whatever it is back and forth. I have never seen brothers behaving like crazily this way. Of course, I have seen, but it's quite unfortunate, really. It's quite unfortunate that both of them decided to take this route. I wasn't expecting Rude Boy to kind of, Paul and Peter, right? I wasn't expecting like that kind of vibe. There are certain things that you guys should just look away from. They all talk about who to marry and who not to marry. Okay, you want to marry someone that you think, you feel, all that bullshit. None of it right now is making any sense. You guys should just rest. So he said, he went on to pinch his brother even more. He said, yes, people are dragging me over my statement and that's okay. We all have that moment where our words can be misunderstood or where we could have expressed ourselves better. I accept, but deliberately twisting my words and using petty tactics to damage my reputation says a lot. Now that's back to his brother. He said, I don't know why you look for every opportunity to make derisive comments or jump on the bandwagon whenever I am being attacked. The other time you threw shade at me and even age shamed me for still dancing at my age. Now it's this again. At this point, I think it's only fair I start giving the same energy. No more Mr. Nice Guy. He said it is now aura for aura, egusi for egusi, oha for oha. How petty can these guys be? You guys are old, but then the spirit of Ubuntu does not dwell in you guys. What you guys have inside of you is violence. You guys want to fight it to finish. Like, it's not a good thing. Like, it's not a good. I don't even think they are children. Play with each other, call each other, or are friends with each other. I don't think so. I don't think they even attend each other's birthday and all of that. You know, normal things. I don't think they do all of these things. So, having said all of this, one might think this is the end. No, he dropped a full video. Let us watch.
So, of course, today I just feel like I have to say my truth. And irrespective of whatever that happens, first of all, this video is going to piss a lot of people off. This video might not go well with a lot of people, but guess what? It is what it is. Well, like I said, I'm going to speak my truth today. Before I start, I've already apologized based on the whole Niger language help. People took it out of, you know, but the same platform I posted it, I've tendered my own apology. I'm sure most of you have seen this. Yeah, that's a typical of him. Always throwing shade at me in every given opportunity. It's okay. Take that by faith. But like I said, at this point, I'm done being Mr. Nice Guy. No, I'm not that nice guy again anymore. It's aura for aura. Yes, aura for aura. I'm going to start giving you the same energy. 100. A lot of people will start saying, I behave childish, I'm used to it. They will say, this one no get sense, I'm used to it. They will say I'm the troublesome one, I'm used to it. They will call me names, trust me, I am used to it. Nothing moves me anymore. And then the one that I know that will say, he talks too much. Before he say I talk too much, I want you all to watch these videos. And they knew me. See, those days, monkey, they walk, baboon, they would chop. I don't they do them again. So, I rather they work for myself only. I know they can be singing only me. Every time, only me, they sing all the song. I know they do again. Those days of monkey, they walk, baboon, they chop. I don't do it again. Alright? I'm beginning to speak up. I'm not speaking up because I have to bring anybody down, but I'm speaking up because the accusation was even more like he saw PSQUARE catalog that is his share. The same catalog that I ain't saying it, but the same catalog that I produced, I wrote, 99% me, 99%. Yeah, sometimes the fans don't like me saying it. Like I said, I'm saying it now. 99% of the song is me, but I'm still accused of diverting PSQUARE funds and blah blah blah. I'm sorry, it's same voice, it's same person, it's same thing. The only difference is that you will not see me and you will do the perform anymore. It's same voice, same me. I know they hide them anymore. Like before they try, but because the more they hide, the more every small thing problem don't come. Just it's music. They bring us together, but my vision is a different vision with somebody else. Okay, so but like I said, I don't want to say much about it. Trust me, I know dance, sorry, I know the dance. Okay. I'm a musician, I sing, so make sure somebody say please begin dancing again. I know they dance at my age, I don't. Alright, I respect my age. We have a song that we did with T.I. You know the song?
Bring it on. With T.I. What's it called? I keep forgetting the name of that song. Ejajo, yes.
Now,
yes.
That was when the issue started. Paul, you need to let me start. And the song came out featuring T.I. Today I believe it's like 15 years. It's still on 3 million views. Why? Because the content of that song They did not hear that voice. They did not hear that kind of thing they want to hear. They have something to say. This is not PSQUARE. I'm not sure you're seeing PSQUARE in the video. Nothing. Now, the reason why I say most of you should watch this video. Today is the first time I'm speaking. Maybe I'm always gonna, I'm used to the type of person that I'm always gonna type. But today I say, let me express myself, you know. What you guys saw just now, this is different days, different outfits coming to pull me down to the media. Of course, my twin brother. And I challenge anybody, including my twin brother. Anybody can provide a video that I try to pull him down, or my brother Jude, or even any member of his family. I challenge anybody that can come up with any video. Go online. But at the end of the day, now Peter, they talk too much. These videos you guys watch, you guys don't see them. Yeah. Like I said, today, I see a lot of, I hear a lot of people saying, what exactly happened to this guy that we don't, because most of you don't even know what happened to us. But today I'm going to say it. The reason why I want to say it is because it don't reach me here. At least, I say what I said during my open letter. Jude went live for nearly 2 hours. Paul went live for nearly 2 hours. Mine was just typing to address a certain situation. Now, I'm about to tell you guys what happened. Starting from November 17th, 2021. The so-called reunion. That reunion was a fake reunion. And I will say it. And I'm going to prove that to all of you watching. On Wednesday 17th November 2021, I was coming back from Atlanta because I embarked on 3-month tour in Canada and United States. 35 minutes before we started descending into Lagos from Atlanta, I got a message from my caretaker. His words: Oga, I beg, forgive Oga Paul. Him don't come apologize to Mama. So, person is referring to Mama is my wife, Lola. And I saw it. I looked at it. I tried calling him, he wasn't picking. Of course, that I was on a flight with Don Flex. I came down on a plane and I showed Flex the message. Flex like, wow. Even Flex said, Peter, free this thing. So till I get home. I'm talking about this was happening at about 6:30 in the evening on Wednesday, the 17th of November. So, when I got to the house, Paul's team were in my house. This is my house. My team have already assembled themselves in the house. I remember Paul's manager, Shehu, CP, no vex, just free this thing. I said, guys, don't say anything. Where is my wife? They said she's not back. I said, let's wait for her to come back. I wanted to hear from her. My wife came back from work. She held me. I started crying. I said, what happened? She said, on that fateful day, being the 17th, which was that very day, that Paul came to the house at 4 a.m. in the morning. And she was scared. She doesn't even know what to, expect. She just told everybody to make sure they gather. Unfortunately, they have to record the situation. Just to make sure, because she was scared. How would Paul come to the house like that kind of a time? The next thing that happened, she came down. Paul held on her legs and was saying, Lola, I'm tired, please, I'm tired. That was it. Like, that's what she told me. I said, did he tell you anything? He said, no. All Paul kept on saying was, he's tired. And I looked around. Everybody was like, I said, okay. Tell Paul to come. Lola said, no. Peter, Paul had made the first move. Peter, go and make the second move. I said, what do you want me to do? Go to Paul's house. Meet him and hug him. I said, okay. I wanted to take the front door because I know that we have a back door that linked the three of us. Me and Jude and Paul. Of course, they're the one that locked me in. They say, no, I shouldn't follow the front door. That the back door, they broken the whole padlock. I should take the back door. That's why when you guys see this, watch the video of our reunion. I had a drink, and I was the one walking up the pole. I walked up the pole and we hugged. While we were doing that, the video went viral. 4 minutes after, unfortunately, Jude's wife called Jude and said, "Hey, where are you?" Jude said he's jogging. He said, "Oh, your brothers are made up." I said, "What?" "Go online, check." We checked. That's why, watch this video, you see Jude with his sweaty green outfit when he enters the house. Now, that was the video. That was the first time I'm seeing Jude for nearly 5.5 years. That's the first time I'm like probably seeing Jude the same time. That very night, people that I heard, some people came to the house, almost having a full house. But of course, me, jet lag was still messing me up. And I needed to talk to my video director who is supposed to send me a video that I'm releasing the next day, being 18th. I went to sleep. Woke up the next morning. By the time I woke up, I was coming out, then I now saw Paul's PA. Said that Paul came to find out if I'm awake, they want to come to the house. I said, yeah. While I sat down upstairs, picked up my phone, I posted a new video titled, go and check it, "I Love You," featuring Tenny, Simi, and Tama Braxton. That video was released on the 18th November. Quote me, 2021. Go and check it. I released that video. While Paul was coming to me, he said, how far now? I said, I did. Say, you just released a new video? I said, yes. Sir. So then the song one begin the push now after Paloma. I said, which video are you now releasing from your own album? Because he released album the same year with me. Say, no, he wants to focus on PSQUARE. I looked at him. I said, I don't get it. So right now, he wants to focus on PSQUARE. I said, bro, I hope you're not getting me. I'm not part of this PSQUARE. I told him openly. Say, no, his PA now said, P, you see the vex. I said, no. We are back as brothers. Oh, we are back as brothers. PSQUARE, I am done. Maybe in future. Right now, I'm done. I was trying to say, oh, you're still angry, you know. I said, oh, no. I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I'm not feeling bad. It's just I feel like, let's be back as brothers. We were brothers before this whole music thing came. Right now, the music thing is waiting, bringing problem. Everybody, just if I release song, I advise you, post me. If you release, I post you. Maybe in future, but for now. Because then I won't lie to you, my album was already doing well for me, you know. So, that was it. Next thing, Jude now called. I said, me and Paul should come to his place. We went. That was very nice. He said that we should make a video telling the fans to donate money for us. Because they would have done something like that 2 weeks before then. I was kicking against it. I won't lie to you. It was how do we introduce ourselves. Because in my mind, there's no PSQUARE. PSQUARE is not existing. We were back as brothers. Then, if you check that video, you can't read it. We didn't say, what's up, Barry, I'm Peter, and I'm Paul, together we are PSQUARE. It was, what's up, everybody, I'm Mr. P, and I'm a Wood Boy. That was the introduction we did when we did that video. That very night, I didn't have party in my house. I didn't invite nobody for any party or reunion party. Instead, in Paul's compound, there was speakers, DJ, everything, balloons, at his poolside. That very night, my house was full, his house was full. If some of you think I was denying the fact that within that 24 hours, there was nothing like PSQUARE existing. What I'm about to say, if you like people about it, what you know I'm about to say? Good boy, Mr. P, bring back PSQUARE. After that reunion, so-called reunion, that I thought the reunion was as brothers. Next day being Friday, Jude, I think Paul called me and said I should come to his house. I came. I saw him and Jude. Jude had the document. I said, hey Peter, take this document, sign here. Paul, sign here. Paul was picking to sign. I said, what's the document for? He said, oh, it's to open Access Bank account. That people are beginning to call for shows, you know, calling hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions. We need to put the money in Access. He works with Access, he knows the. I said, calling for shows for who? So what do I mean? I said, Paul, you not there, Jude. You say, tell me for what? Peter, do you need to go there? I said, no, Paul, come on now. Paul now said, he didn't say no to do PSQUARE. Jude was not like, what's all the whole paparazzi and all that? I said, no, we're back as brothers, bro. I'm done with PSQUARE. I'm not interested in PSQUARE anymore. He said, why? I said, has any other thing brought problem for us before except PSQUARE? He said, but that means you don't have. I said, no. I forgive him, bro. Don't get me wrong. I forgive him, but I'm not interested. Why that was going on? Paul was trying to, you know, convince me. Jude said, Papa, leave, I don't know what to do. Jude left. Apparently, the next day being Saturday, Jude then now sent for my manager, MM, and the guy that was managing Paul, Shew, called them together. We all went to Paul's studio. And I said, oh, that Peter understands, I get your point. However, you don't want what has happened before to happen again, but no problem. What will happen is that he's going to bring these two individuals to the team. I said, to the team to manage what? I'm not trying to stress them more, but you need to give me a reason. And I said, oh, that he and Jude will be the official manager, and manager MM will be assistant manager, and Shehu, post manager, will be road manager. He offered them money, how much he will be paying them every show. I started laughing. Paul, my manager, and Paul's manager even started laughing. Paul started feeling like it's becoming an embarrassment moment for Jude. He now called me and said he doesn't like this thing. You know, he took me to the living room. Doesn't like this in that time. Look how I'm embarrassing Jude. I said, Paul, what's embarrassment here? Let's be honest, bro. Let's be very honest. Why that was going on? Paul says, is it because of sharing formula? Because in share, we share 3 ways. In fact, we don't even share 3 ways. How we share money is, I'll come and say, hey, I need to pay my kids' school fees. How much? Maybe it's 12 million naira. Jude will sign a check, 12 million, and give me. Sign 12. Paul, sign 12 for himself. That was how we were running PSQUARE. Oh, Peter, I want to buy this car. Take. Paul, take. Him, take. Now, Paul now say, you know one thing? It is because of the sharing formula, Peter. So we'll stop all this. Me, 35. Jude go take 30. I said, Paul, no. Take 30 to do what? To manage one PSQUARE. I'm not interested. And I look at Paul, I said, I ask you one question. I want you to speak now. I beg you. You try to make Jude be our manager. How come 5.5 years? Me and you know they together. How come Jude no be your manager? You know now. Peter, you know, if Jude be my manager, everybody go to think that 2 against 1. Really? That is exactly what it has been. So let's make something clear here. Hey, no look as if Jude, or I don't like him to manage us. But let's recall back that Beyonce fired her own father. Usher Raymond fired his own mother. Late Michael Jackson fired his own father. We, P-Square, we even told our own mother to step aside. So what is all this? Your brother must manage. And I know a lot of people start saying, oh, how come I don't want Jude to be our manager? Let's be very honest, guys. Before Jude came in, or before we brought Jude in as our manager, we've had several managers. One, Chioma Ugoji, she went from being a dance group manager to P-Square's manager. Later on, our mom became our manager for like few months. Then, of course, you all know Bayo Dusabi, popularly known as Harry T. That's the guy that actually discovered us fully. He became our manager for over at least 6 years before he now brought in Jude. Now the question is, within these 3 before Jude, have we had any, has Peter and Paul ever had any fight or any issue? Because none of them would take sides. None of them took sides. At the moment where Paul was trying to convince me, and I said, I actually gave it a thought. Maybe try to give it a try. I said, okay, Paul, you want PSQUARE back? No problem. Let's go back upstairs. I decided to make an offer. He was trying to convince me, and we went upstairs where the 2 managers, including Jude, were there. And I said, so guys, Paul, you guys want PSQUARE back? No problem. Here's what it's going to look like. I and Paul will set up a company. I and Paul will be only signatory. I and Paul will take care of every administrative when it comes to finance, signatory, everything. And I and Paul will go with 40-40. The 3 managers, which is now Jude, Shehu, and MM, will go with 20%. Jude does it, he doesn't understand that if that's the case, he'd rather work for free. And I now said, gentlemen and lady, Jude now works for free. And that's how I ended that meeting. This is the P-Square boy think they are back. Within 4 or 5 days, me and Paul didn't see eye to eye after that incident. Until Paul now came to me. After we went to Sierra Leone, because there was a show that was booked for Mr. P today in Sierra Leone, the next day for Paul. We finally called it, but we were coming together. After we went to Sierra Leone and came back, Paul now said to me, so there's nothing for Jude. It's not about Jude. I'm not even doing P-Square. Paul, it's not about Jude here. Can we just come back as brothers? Can we live life as brothers first? Let me even experience it. Let me experience living as brothers. Everything looks like there's a competition running around everybody. I don't like it. And that's okay, no problem. I'll take your second option. Say, which is my second option? Now you should set up a company, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, Jude cannot take that offer. So me, I will continue. I say, no problem. The center lawyer, he came. Brought the document, set up, mode of work. Everything Peter and Paul 50-50. Every decision 50-50. Sharing formula 50-50. We signed. We started up Square Root Entertainment. We started up. Now, we started doing shows, started the P-Square reunion. While we were planning the P-Square reunion, I overheard something that was very disturbing. Like, it was very disturbing. Proud to Paul's apology to my wife that Jude and Paul had a serious fight. Remember, we're neighbors. Yeah. And I started doing my investigation. First of all, I wanted to play ignorant, like, no need, you know. But 4, or should I say 3 individuals from Paul's camp confirmed it. That Paul and Jude actually had a fight. Minutes or hours before Paul came to my house to meet my wife. And this was what I discovered. That Paul claimed he borrowed Jude 90 million. Now, he wanted Jude to give the money back to him, but he wanted this time Jude to borrow him 90 million because there's some property he wanted to buy somewhere in Lekki. That he also had the complete money. That even with the 90 million you want to borrow from Jude, it's still going to be complete. The money is not going to be complete at the end. But I need to give it to the owner of the property as a deposit. But when he approached Jude, that was when they had that issue. And that Paul's PA and his manager were there. Paul had already told them that, oh, listen, Jude is owing me. So that night they had an altercation that when Paul approached Jude, they said, hey, listen, I need my 90 million. Paul, Jude said, which 90 million? The one I give you. How did I borrow 90 million from you? Everybody around were looking at Paul. Okay, you've told us that Jude was owing you 90 million. Jude said, show me now I'm owing you 90 million. It's not easy for Paul to bring out his phone and say, look at how you are owing me, blah. Paul couldn't proceed with that. Jude said, tell me now, show me how I take borrow 90 million from you. Jude now brought his phone and showed Paul's team and said, hey, listen, Paul, you borrowed me this money 2-3 months ago. Guys, look. Jude bought his phone. I said, guys, see. 3 months ago, see hundreds of thousands of dollars that I have in my account. But show me where you gave me 90 million. Then what came out of Paul's mouth was, Jude, you know, give me this 90 million. No wahala. I go tell Peter waiting day. Now, I'm sure most of you don't understand what that means. It means I will go and confess to Peter. Obviously, there's something going on. Despite I have heard these things, I guarantee you, I still played and I stayed calm. I believe if whatever that has happened after we broke up, it's understandable. But no. These things have been happening years, and I'm about to prove it to everyone right now. And so that was how Paul walked out from Jude, went to his bedroom, wore his slippers, because he was crying, washed his face, told his PA and his manager, he should escort him, wants to come to my house. He said, but Peter no day now, Peter die America. He said, no problem, Lola, you want to go meet. That's how Paul went to meet Lola. So, the whole reunion was because he has a fallout with Jude. Now, I'll come to that. We announced our world tour. We started touring. I discovered that the people handling my distribution as Mr. P are the same people handling RUDEBOY. I said, let's give them PSQUARE. Jude refused. Paul refused. This was Paul who bragged about these individuals. He doesn't even know that they don't handle my own distribution. So, while that was going on, during our tour, I discovered that some people wanted to buy PSQUARE catalog. They walked up to me. I said, no problem, I've discussed my brothers. They offered millions of dollars. They can buy it off for 10 years. After 10 years, return it back or buy it off for life. So me and Paul had a discussion in London, because me and Paul were touring. Remember, Jude was not with us. Came back. But then, when I walked up to Jude and Paul, I said, listen, Alpha. So Paul want to buy Jude. Said, no problem. They had some people that are ready to even pay now. He now told me the amount. It was less. I said, no, these guys are offering more. All they want from us is to give them a back end. How much this thing generates every month, which I do not have. And I asked Jude. Jude said, it's not possible. I said, how? That these other people are better. I said, no problem. Whatever you gave the other people, give it to me. Let me give it to these people. Highest bidder. While that was going on, I kept on insisting. And I walked up to Paul. I said, why is that Jude doesn't want to give me this back end? He say, I don't know, but I don't know anything about this. I just, my music, I do not repeat. I don't know about all these things. Really, Paul? No problem. I played ignorant. Then the same people called me. Paul's manager and my manager, who are now our manager, now said, do you need to throw it to other companies like Universal, Sony, to know highest bidder? I said, okay. They went and submit the whole proposal that PSQUARE wants to sell the catalog. Next thing, everyone demanded, they wanted the back end. I persuaded Jude to give it to me. He now said, it's going to take 3.5 months. I started feeling somehow. If I tell you to give me your statement of account, few minutes, even with your app, you bring it. Tell me 3.5 months. So that's how long it will take. I still play ignorant, waited for the 3.5 months. Walked up to him after 3.5 months. He kept on doing like this. I walked up to Paul. Paul, what is going on? Say, Peter, I don't know anything about this. This whole thing where you talk about. I persuaded. Do not say, I should send him my email. He forwarded it. I looked at it. What he sent me was how many streams, but without how much it generates. I looked at it. I said, look, I just sent forward to the two manager. Now this is where it becomes interesting. Now the two managers sent this back ends out. Nobody got back. So imagine people that have offered huge amount of money on this same catalog. After going through the tampered back end, most of them came back with an unbelievable lower amount offer. For example, imagine someone offering to buy a product for 500 naira. And after seeing the back end of the product, they're now offering 10 naira. How? I went to Paul. Have you heard? See what's going on. In fact, one of them even said, bro, who sent this to you? I said, why? Whoever that sent this thing to you, or is it the distribution company, got them arrested. I said, it was my brother that sent it to me. I don't think your brother knows what has gone wrong. I became worried. And I said, okay, the best thing I can do is, we have a management company called Northside Entertainment. Director is Peter, Paul, and Jude. Jude owns 40, Peter and Paul own 30. Management company, what that means is that if you pay a PSQUARE 100 million, management takes 10%. Instead of that 10%, Peter and Paul are managing themselves. You know, the manager can even go with 4 million, Peter and Paul go 3 million. The same 90 million still remains for the artist. I said the best thing I can do, I contacted all the account officers of Northside Entertainment in different banks.
The story of greed, the story of lawlessness. A lot of the conversation that has trailed PSQUARE and of course their brother Jude, it has always been there. And prior to this, I believe their mom, when their mom was alive, she was able to keep everybody together. Like, you know what? You guys do this for me. And they did. They wanted to keep this in the family. Like, you know what? Let's keep this in the family. Hoping and thinking that family, as they normally say, blood is thicker than water. But none of these things matter when money comes into play. None of this matter when envy, jealousy comes into play. Of course, RUDEBOY wanted his elder brother, of course their elder brother, not to be broke. Like, how can our elder brother be broke and be like, he's our elder brother now, and let him have something so that it won't be like he's begging, and let him. But of course, Mr. PSQUARE didn't like the idea. To him, we are the foundation of this thing. We are the brain box behind it. We are the one doing the work. We just want to make sure that our brother is part of the whole thing. Let our brother take 20% while we take 40%. We have to be 2 times. But if you choose to give maybe 10% from yours and have 30, it is fine. Give my brother 10% and keep 30 so that both of you will be balanced. But me, I want to have 40%. This is the crux of the matter. This is where the whole thing started. And till today, they are yet to get themselves. Now, RUDEBOY, who has a soft spot for their elder brother, he also is not happy at some of the behavior of Jude. He's not like really happy. But somehow, I do not know. You know, when you have children, there will be that one that has that deep empathy for you regardless. But doesn't mean that having empathy for you is the best thing. Let us even assume that they said to themselves, okay, you know what, brother, take 25%. We will take the rest of it. Maybe, but I don't think 20% is bad. 20% is not bad. They are the ones doing the job. 20% is not bad. That they even brought you in. You don't sing, Jude. Jude has no talent. He has nothing. It's just that their late mom, wanted them to be like a family thing. Let's run it together as a family thing. There's nothing wrong with 20%. Now, PSQUARE, they can no longer vibe like how they did in those years. If not for this their hula baloo, they would have made more money. Much more money. Much more. When I say much more money, they would have made much more money from the music. But now, what is the reunion of these old men dancing, singing? No. Gone are those days. You guys allowed fight and quarrel, rancor. You allowed sharing formula. You allowed it. Your brother obviously is going to want to take advantage of you guys. Take advantage of everything. Like, yeah, man, I don't say anything wrong with 20%, 40-40. I don't say anything wrong at all. But this matter is so deep. It is so deep that one cannot even pull out inside and come out of it easily. But one thing that I can pinpoint is greed. Greed from the side of Jude, their elder brother. And not just that alone. I saw some kind of, well, it is what it is. I saw some kind of lack of processing things clearly on the side of RUDEBOY. Am I saying that everything demonstrated by Mr. PSQUARE is okay? No, not at all. But in the scope of things, 20%, 40-40 for us, and let's move on. Let's enjoy ourselves. They would not have had issues. Neither would they have had a break in transmission. But now, they don't have just a break. Everything called PSQUARE is gone. Dead. And it cannot be resuscitated. Never. What are they going to come up with? What kind of song are they going to start putting out there that is going to... You guys, your time is up. What kind of songs do you want to sing? What they do now is attacking each other. That's what they do. Attacking each other. Taking a swipe at each other. Look at all the write-up. One is talking about this, the other quickly jumped, I am Igbo, I am this and that. Like, unhealthy competition. I know twins compete among themselves. I know that. And that you are identical twins, you share the same sac, you share this and that, you have same DNA, you have all of that. Does not mean that you will demonstrate same behavior. Neither will you have same character. It's quite unfortunate.